into this broken vessel. You desire to abide in the presence of your people. So we lift our hands as we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise into your name. I believe I'll say that again for those who want to praise him with me. You can anytime. Welcome and to this place, Lord, you're welcome into this broken vessel. You decide to abide in the presence of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our heart and we offer up sweet praise unto your. All over this building, praise team, help us here. Welcome. Come on, say it with us, say it with us. Into this place, Lord, you're welcome. Welcome into this broken vessel. You desire to abide in the presence of your people. So we lift our hands. Come on, you can come with us. As we lift our hearts. Come on, bring it, as we offer this praise unto your last week, our subject, it still is, did I say something wrong? Did I say something wrong? We see on last week, we stopped where David, just bring you up to speed, David was trying to bring the ark of God into the city of David. He was trying to bring it there to the children of Israel, so the ark would be closer to God's people. Therefore, he made an attempt to bring the ark. He made an attempt to put the ark in an area where he thought God would be pleased. However, as he tried to move the ark, he moved it without instructions. He moved it because he did not follow the will of God or the word of God. And I need to tell somebody this morning that whenever you're out of the will of God, your efforts cannot ever supersede what God will not tolerate. Therefore, when David and his entourage, when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God, and he took hold of it because he thought it was about to fall, because the oxen who was carrying the ark had shook the wagon, and he thought it was about to fall, so he put his hand towards it. He put it there because he was trying to support what the animal was shaking. He was trying to support what the animal was shaking. And I need to help somebody here because we just had an election, and I told you this on last weekend, and we're trying to support certain animals, or I will say certain parties. We're trying to support an elephant, or we're trying to support a donkey. Y'all ain't praying with me. We're trying to support an elephant elephant or a donkey. But can I tell you something? You're hooked up with the wrong animal. You shouldn't be trying to support an elephant, and you shouldn't be trying to support a donkey. What you really should be trying to support is the lamb. Y'all ain't gonna pray with me. See, I'll put that wing all over your head. If you're gonna support an animal, you should be trying to support the lamb. And y'all know Mary did have a little lamb. And yes, and his spirit was white as snow. If you're going to support something, then support the lamb. He grabbed the ark, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God killed him for his error. And there he died at the ark by the hands of God. So David is now in a place where most of us go when we have lost someone we care about. Are y'all with me so far? He's in a place where most of us go mentally when we've lost someone that we care about. What place is that, Pastor? I'm glad you asked. David is angry. He's hurt. And he's afraid all at the same time. I'll say it again. He's angry, he's hurt, and he's afraid all at the same time. Therefore, he mustered up these words in a question phrase. He says openly, he says outwardly, he says even in the atmosphere of God, he says, how can the ark of the Lord come to me? However, when I look at this text, I see he left his question, was left with no response. When he spoke this, God did not respond to his question. In fact, when I saw what he said, the next verse, I was looking for God to say something. The next verse, I was looking for God to tell him something. Because y'all got to remember, David was a man after God's own heart. David was the man that God truly loved. So I was looking for God to say something, but in the next verse, God says nothing. He says nothing. I'm confused, Deacon Kim. I am confused at this because the last question, when I looked through my Bible and I did some research, the last question that David asked God, I found in 1 Samuel chapter 30, verse 8. I found that after the Amalekites had came to Ziklag, they destroyed the city, took David's family, and took David's entourage family, took the wives and children, and guess what? When David and them got back from hunting, when they got back from handling their affairs, they found their wives and children gone. And when they got there and found their wives and children gone, I'm going to teach you something. Please listen today. They began to cry. In fact, the Bible said they cried until they had no more tears. But not only did they cry, Minister Oliver, but then they got angry. They wanted to do something to David because they felt he was at fault. But watch the text. Instead of David fighting them, instead of David trying to explain himself, the Bible said David stealed away and he went quietly to a place where he could talk to God all by himself. And I got to help somebody in here this morning. Sometimes you will have some adversity in life, but instead of you hanging around folks trying to talk to them about your situation, every now and then you got to learn how to steal away, go into your own private sector, go into your own secret closet. Oh, that's what Grandma called it. She called it secret closet. You got to go into your own secret closet, and you got to learn how to have a conversation with the Lord all by yourself. You don't need mama, you don't need daddy, you don't need grandmama, you don't need big mama. But every now and then, you got to learn how to go into your own private sector and just have a little talk with Jesus and tell him all about it. Just a little talk with Jesus. Somebody say just a little talk. Just a little talk with Jesus can make things better. Just a little talk with Jesus can make everything. All right. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. The text says he went Lord. And the text says he encouraged himself. Lord, help me in here today. Somebody ought to say, preach, ball here, man. Yeah, he had a talk with the Lord. He encouraged himself. And every now and then, you're going to have to learn how to encourage yourself. You can't be looking for everybody to encourage you. In fact, sometimes folk will not encourage you because they want to see you fail. They want to see you fall. They want to see you fall out. Y'all missed that. Y'all missed that. They want to see you fail. They want to see you fall. They want to see you fall out. They want to see you fail in life. But then again, you got to learn how to encourage yourself. You got to learn how to say, I'm better than that. I'm bigger than that. Y'all ain't going to help me here. I'm going to give you your B's now. I gave you your F's. Let me give you your B's. You got to say, I'm better than that. I'm bigger than that. I'm badder than that. I wish I had LL Cool J up in here. He'll just tell you, I'm bad. So you got to learn how to encourage yourself. David said, Lord, I'm in a bad state right now. I've lost my children. I've lost all my wives. Lord, and my homeboys, they want to come against me right now. What should I do if I go to the Amalekite lands and I try to take back what the devil has stolen from me? I just want to know one thing, God. I just want to know one thing. Anybody want to know one thing from the Lord? I just want to know one thing. If I go, will you go with me? If I go, will you go with me? But not only did he want to know where the Lord go, he said, but if I fight, because sometimes you got to fight the devil for what he has taken from you. You got to fight to get your joy back. You got to fight to get your peace back. You got to fight to get your happiness back. You got to fight to get your life back. Anybody willing to put up a fight for what the devil has stolen from you? Can you say, I will fight for my joy. I'll fight for my happiness. I'll fight for my peace. I'll fight for my children. God said, no, I got you. Yeah, he heard from God that day. But now he asked God a question. And God says nothing. He asked God a question and God says nothing. He texted God. But God didn't respond. He inboxed God. Y'all ain't gonna pray with me. I'm just using my homiletics, y'all. I'm just bringing it to 2022. That's all. He inboxed God and God did not come in. He called on the Lord. Yes, sir. God did not say a word. I can see in David's spirit right now. I can see him saying, did I say something wrong? God, you're not talking to me. Did I say or do something wrong? First of all, God, I thought we was on that level where I can talk to you and you'll talk back to me. Can I just come from David's perspective and I'll move on? God, why not? You're not talking to me. You elevated me. You have me walking into my destiny. You anointed me to be king. And now you won't respond to me? You sent Samuel to my daddy Jesse's house in our little town called Bethlehem. You told my daddy to get me out of the field and bring me into the house. You told me this. That's why I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Y'all missed that. You told me, and now you won't respond to me? You won't say nothing to me? What do you do when God stops speaking to you? what do you do when God stops responding to you? What do you do, Deacon Rutherford, when you don't hear from God? How do you move forward when there is no answer from God? You see, God called you into the ministry. But every time you do ministry, it fails. What do you do when you can't hear from the Lord? How do you move forward? How do you stay faithful? How do you keep praising? How do you keep shouting? How do you move forward when there is no answer? Look at the text. When David didn't hear from God. Look at the text. Watch the text. When David didn't hear from God. Watch the text. Now, I need y'all to see this teaching here because this teaching is very valuable. This teaching is beneficial. When David didn't hear from God, he left the ark. When he didn't hear from the Lord, he left the ark. When he didn't hear from God, he went to Obadiah's house, dropped the ark off, and he left the ark. What do you do? He left the ark. Can I ask a question and I'll move on? What have you left because you have not heard from God? Talk to me, church. Come on, we family, we can talk. I ain't gonna tell nobody. Come on, the camera's on me, they can't see you. You talk to me, they don't know your voice. What have you, what have left you? What have left you? Because you didn't hear from God. What did you leave? What did you put aside? Because you didn't hear from God. Huh? What was once in your possession, but is no longer in your possession because God is not speaking to you. I'm almost finishing. Y'all don't even know it. What you once had, but because you didn't hear from the Lord, you don't have it no more. The zeal you used to have, the praise you used to have, the excitement you used to have when you came to church. How you used to shout. Come on. Glory. Come on. All right. How you used to sing every song that we sung. Knew it verse by verse. Word by word. But because you didn't hear from the Lord like you wanted to hear from God. Yes, sir. All right. You're on it. Watch the text. David didn't hear from God like he heard from him in Ziklag. But that doesn't mean David didn't hear from God. I need y'all to see this. He didn't hear from God like he heard from him in Ziklag. But God spoke to him. And I need y'all to see this right here. How did he speak to him, Pastor? How did God speak to David? Well, I'm glad you asked. He spoke to David in his word. David's answer was in Exodus chapter 25, verse 12 through 15. His answer was also in Numbers chapter 4, verse 15. Somebody shout, teach him on it. Somebody shout, teach him on it. See, the response David got was not the response he wanted. So it was quite clear God responded. But he responded not from his voice, but in his word. Come on. And so too many times we're looking for God to respond one way, but God has already responded to you another way. He's already told you in the Word. I've got my answers in the Word. I've got my, y'all gonna talk to me for a moment? I've got my voice in the Word. What you need is in the Word. All you got to do is pick the book up. Get all 66. You can't leave one out. If you just go from Genesis to Revelation, whatever you need an answer to is all in the Word. So he responded in the Word. The Word is God's response. But when we refuse the Word, then we cannot expect for God to respond any other way. When we won't listen to the Word, we cannot ask God to respond any other way. Because some of us, and I ain't talking about everybody, but some of us, and I ain't talking about all of y'all, but some of us think the Word comes from the preacher. The Word don't come from the preacher. The preacher worked for the Word. So what are you? I'll tell you I'm employed. I'm just a mailman. I can't tell you what's in the mail. All I'm doing is delivering what God tells me to deliver. It's up to you to open up the mail, receive it, and use it according to your benefit. Well, stop asking me, did God send you a check? Cannot expect God to respond any other way but through his Word. His Word is his response. So you would have thought David's anointing would have gotten him closer to God. But his position and his desire may have played a part in his decision. Y'all miss that? Because when he heard from God before, he wasn't king. When he heard from God before, y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Yeah, he was not over Israel. When he heard from God before, he did not have the title that he had. But now he's got the title, now he's got the position, and now he wants to hear from God. But guess what? His position, his title might be playing a part as to why he hasn't heard from God. And I need to help somebody in here, because some of us, the reason we haven't heard from the Lord, thank you, Holy Spirit, thank you, because you don't let your position and your title went to your head, and because you don't got the big head, now you can't hear from God like you used to hear from him. I ain't talking about you, say amen. I know it's tight. That's not to me. I heard you. So you don't let what God has given you he'll separate you. God don't give you something to divide you. He don't give you something to separate you. He don't give you something for you to walk away. I'm almost there. Let's go home. I'm almost there, y'all. So how often does position and desire cause you to be guided by your will and not God's will? I'm there. Yeah, that hit in there. How often do your position, your title, your desire guide you now? Where you in your will and you're not in his will. You doing your ways and not his ways. You walking in your word and not his word. Now I'm finna show you something. God did speak to David. But the next time he spoke to David, it was through the mouthpiece of a prophet. Y'all got to read this text. I'm in the Word. Y'all act like I'm not in the Word. The next time he spoke to David, it was through the mouthpiece of a prophet. He gave word to the prophet by the name of Pastor Nathan. Pastor Nathan then spoke that same word to David. See, David had had to understand, and what most of us don't understand, he had to understand what most of us need to understand. He had to understand what God put on you does not make you untouchable. Y'all don't want that one. Y'all don't want that one. No, y'all don't want that one. I'm going to give it to you, though. Yeah, what God put on you, just because God anointed you, that don't mean you're untouchable. Just because God has elevated you, doesn't mean he can't bring you back down. Just because the light is shining on you today, it can be a dim light on tomorrow, and then the next day it can be dark. Don't get so high and mighty that you want to step on folks and look down on folks because you on your way up. Well, can I tell you something? That same ladder that's taking you up, sweetheart, that same ladder can bring you back down. And those same folks that you crush their hands going up the ladder, guess what? You might have to pass those same folks on your way down. So David had to understand what God put on him does not make him untouchable. His anointing does not come without restriction. In fact, all of our gifts, guess what? They have restriction clauses. Just because you can preach, you still got to live right. Just because you can sing, you still got to live right. Just because you can pray the roof off a church, you still got to live right. Just because you're the best usher since man came to existence, you still got to live right. Just because you're great on the hospitality ministry, you still. So can I tell you something? Just like David, your blessing and your faith are never without stipulations. Therefore, don't think your blessing exempts you from being accountable. Every now and then, God will check you. Y'all praying with me? Every now and then, God will shine the light on you. Every now and then, God have to show you that you're not in my will, but you're in your own will. And God, all right. But what David did, and I'm so glad I know a little bit about the Bible. David went and did some research.